A rusted lump of bronze, drift up from the depths of the Mediterranean, has turned the tale of ancient history upside down. This peculiar object, over 2,000 years old, contains keys crafted with such precision they rival the finest watches of today, long before anyone was meant to have mastered such engineering. If something this advanced lay hidden for so long, what else might still be buried out there? Could it suggest we are not the first advanced civilization to tread this earth? Join us as we unravel the enigma of the Antikythera Mechanism. The impossible find. The bronze lump set on the table like it didn't belong in its era. 2 millennia underwater had not at its surface, with green corrosion clinging to the metal like a second skin. It felt weighty in the hands, crumbling at the edges, as if it were falling apart from some ancient malaise. But beneath the decay, something gleamed. Dr. William Stens leaned closer, peering through his magnifying glass. It is 1902, and what he sees sends a shiver down his spine. Tiny isoisotonic metal keys crafted with astonishing precision. They are no larger than coins, yet they mesh together like part of a modern machine. Keys like these weren't supposed to exist for another 200 years. The corroded mat splits open, like overripe fruit, revealing something even stranger inside. Each two fragments scatter across the table, each a piece of a puzzle no one was prepared for. One of the largest keys, 13 centimeters wide, boasts exactly 233 teeth, each carved so finely it could pass for modern craftsmanship. Yet this device predates the first mechanical clock by over 8,000 years. Across the bronze, ancient Greek inscriptions etched into the metal. Some read Sun as Re. Others mention Aphrodite along Aphrodite in Egyptian man. The words seem hurriedly scratched, as if someone was desperate to preserve knowledge they feared might vanish. The room fell silent as scientists gathered around the fragments. They counted the keys, 30, then more. Each one slotted into the next with eerie precision. The craftsmanship was so impeccable, it demanded to no one believed existed in the ancient world. And the bronze, recycled, likely scavenged from even older machines, hinting at technology stretching BSK further than anyone dared imagine. Some of the smallest teeth are just a millimeter long, cut by hand at a time when most couldn't even pen their own names. It is not just drinkable, it is downright unsettling. And there is more. AYS revealed hidden components still locked inside the lump, layers of keys untouched by air, all part of a design so advanced it seemed built to predict the future. The ancient Greeks were meant to have pulleys and levers, not this. Panic rippled through academic circles. Some called it a hoax. Others claimed it came from a later wreck. But the fragments spoke for themselves, declaring one chilling truth. History got it wrong. This machine would take over a century to fully comprehend. But from the outset, one fact was clear. This wasn't humanity's first ascent to the peak of knowledge. We declimbed it bare. And we deload it all. But this corroded bronze contraption didn't just appear out of nowhere. It came from a shipwreck that would rewrite archaeology forever. What secrets were stashed in that ancient cargo hold? Shipwreck that rewrote history. The Mediterranean was restless in 60 BCE. Waves battered a wooden merchant ship as fish winds to its sails to shreds. The sea was dark, ferocious, almost as if it knew what was on board. The ship carried more than just wine and oil. Tucked deep within were peculiar treasures, Greek bronze statues, marble figures from Asia Minor, delicate glassware from Egypt. And hidden beneath it all, wrapped in cloth as if meant to be forgotten, was a bronze device no one would understand for 2,000 years. The storm didn't hold BACK. The ship sank swiftly. At least 4 crew members went down with it, their names and faces lost to time. The wreck settled off the coast of Antikythera, an island notorious for pirates, shipwrecks, and tales that never reached home. Saltwater began eating through the wood and metal, but the sea guarded its secret. Nearly 1800 years passed. In 1900, a group of sponge divers from Simi arrived, scouring the seabed sponges to feed their families. One diver, Elias Lycopoulos, planted 40 meters down. He expected silence and sand. But what he saw sent him scrambling to the surface in a panic. Gasping for air, he trembled as he told the crew. There were bodies down there, dozens of them, lined up like fallen soldiers. The captain, Dimitri's Countess, thought the preacher had got to him. But something in Elias said otherwise. Countess dived down himself. What he found were statues, massive bronze and marble figures strewn across the seabed. Arms, faces, torsos, like cast from the earth and frozen in time. He surfaced clutching a bronze arm. Word spread, and the Greek government sent archaeologists to investigate. This became the world's first underwater archaeological dig. What they uncovered didn't add up. The items weren't from one place or time, they were from everywhere. Coins from between 76 and 67 BCE gave a rough date for the wreck. But the cargo told a grander story. These weren't trade goods. Someone had been collecting rare, advanced works, capturing the pinnacle of science and art. Buried among nearly 100 sculptures was something else. A lump of bronze. Broken. Corroded. But inside keys. Some more. Precise. Impossible for its time. Year of study revealed the truth. This ship carried more than riches. It carried knowledge, carefully selected and transported, possible by scholars collaborating across continents. The objects linked Egypt, Greece, and Rome, hinting at an ancient network of thinkers exchanging ideas long before modern borders existed. The divers thought they found treasure. What they found was a warning, proof that civilizations rise and fall. And perhaps we're not as original as we think. But when researchers finally peeked inside, what they uncovered didn't just shock them, it shattered everything we thought we knew. How could a device this complex exist 2,000 years ago? World's first computer unveiled. The moment scientists began peeling back the corroded layers of bronze, they were unprepared for what they saw. Dozens of keys stacked back, in total. These weren't crude wheels cobbled together. Each was cut with subtle accuracy, the tiny just a millimeter long. It was the kind of precision you'd expect from a modern watchmaker, not a craftsman from 2,000 years ago. Each key had a purpose. The largest, 13 centimeters across, was carved with exactly 233 teeth. Somehow, its creators understood key ratios that still puzzle engineers today. But the keys were only part of what made this device so unnerving. On its face was a circular dial, ringed with markers. The inner ring divided the zodiac into 12 sections, each with 30 precise divisions. This wasn't a decoration, it was designed to track the sun's movement through space with accuracy no one thought the ancients capable of. The outer ring aligned with the Egyptian calendar, even correcting for its gradual drift over time. A concept that takes modern astronomers years to grasp. Yet someone over 2,000 years ago had already sussed it out and built a machine to track it. The real shock came from what the device could predict. Attached to the lunar pointer was a small ball, half white, half black, rotating to show the moon's exact phase on any given day. The keyring behind it modeled the moon's irregular orbit, which speeds up and slows down depending on its position. That kind of calculation didn't resurface until the Renaissance, over 8,000 years later. Then there was the BSK of the device. 5 dials worked together to predict eclipses using the Saros cycle, an ancient method for mapping when the sun would go dark. This bronze machine could forecast solar eclipses years into the future, just by turning a crank. It didn't stop there. The machine also marked the timing of the Olympic Games and other festivals, coded into the keys as if event support were tied to the star. Tiny Greek writing covered the surface, like a manual etched in metal. Researchers have deciphered around 3,000 of an estimated 15,000 characters. What they decoded explains how to read the dials and use the device, a complete knowledge system, built into bronze. The skill required to craft this would have taken expert teams years. Yet this may not have been the only one. Ancient texts hint at similar machines, possibly built by Archimedes himself. As scientists unraveled the Antikythera Mechanism's secrets, they were gobsmacked. How did this come to be? The precision that shouldn't exist. Modern watchmakers studying the Antikythera Mechanism are often left stunned. The key teeth, each exactly a millimeter long, were cut with an accuracy that today is finest Swiss Interknife would admire. The bronze wasn't just shaped, it was hammered, failed and calibrated with such care that modern scientists need electron microscopes to fully grasp it. The keys told a story that shouldn't be possible. Each tool was cut and filed by hand, precisely, cleanly, perfectly shaped to fit the necks. The metal wasn't random either. It was a specific bronze alloy designed to reduce friction and ensure longevity. Whoever built this knew how to create machines that could function smoothly for years. That knowledge didn't return until the Industrial Revolution. But the mystery deepens. This wasn't a one-off. The Roman writer Cicero described similar machines by Archimedes and the philosopher Posidonius, capable of showing star movements and predicting eclipses. These weren't myths, they were real, working devices like the Antikythera Mechanism. The economics paint a darker picture. Building one of these wasn't cheap or simple. It would have taken thousands of hours from skilled metalworkers, astronomers, and craftsmen, likely costing more than most could afford. Perhaps akin to funding a modern research lab. These machines weren't for the common folk. They were tools or trophies for the wealthy and powerful, rulers, elite scholars, perhaps royal astronomers. People with the clout to assemble the best minds of the ancient world to build machines that could read the stars. These weren't about public education, they were private tools for the elite. And that changes everything. If machines this advanced existed 2000 years ago, what else did these elite groups know that never made it into public record? What technology were created, used, and then hidden away? The mechanism, its construction tells its own story. It came in a wooden BOX, sealed with bronze plates, operated by a single knob. Tiny Greek letters like a personal manual, weren't meant for the masses. Whoever used it already understood the stars and calendars. They didn't need lessons. They needed results. Some researchers believe these machines were passed down within wealthy families, guarded like heirlooms. They gave the owners control over time, when to hold festivals, plant crops, or predict when the sun would vanish. But one question haunts historians. If ancient Greece had computers like this, what else have we lost? What obscure secrets vanished when the last machine was destroyed or melted down scrap? The Antikythera Mechanism survived only because it stunk with a chip and stayed buried for 2000 years. The rest, gone, recycled, hidden, or destroyed. But the most chilling part comes when experts trace the trailblazer to who might have built it, only to find links pointing straight to the greatest genius of the ancient world. Archimedes' connection. The mathematical precision in those bronze keys points to an unsettling possibility. This machine may carry the legacy of Archimedes, the most brilliant inventor of the ancient world. There is growing evidence the entire mechanism was built after his death, likely by those who studied under him or preserved his hidden knowledge. The astronomical models in the keys math calculations he developed decades earlier. His grasp of planetary cycles, key ratios, and eclipse patterns was so advanced it wouldn't be rivaled for over 8,000 years. At some point, those theories were turned from parchment into metal. For years, experts thought the machine was made in Corinth, a Greek city known for skilled artisans and astronomical study. Inscriptions referencing Corinthian months and festivals supported this. But deeper investigation revealed something more troubling. The trail led to Epirus, a region in northwest Greece with close ties to Rhodes. Rhodes was home to Hipparchus, the astronomer whose theories about the moon are reflected in the device's workings. The island also breathed Greece and Rome, a hub where ideas and tools changed hands. Roman collectors were known for snapping up Greek knowledge, especially anything hinting at scientific or philosophical power. The ship carrying the mechanism was headed to Rome when disaster struck. This wasn't just a trade ship with random goods. Its cargo, marble statues, bronze artworks, delicate glass, luxury amphorae, was carefully chosen for beauty and valor. The mechanism wasn't packed for a Lochon market. It was part of a larger collection, likely commissioned by someone with immense wealth and status. To own such a device was to command the past, present, and even the skies. During this period, powerful Roman generals and statesmen competed to possess the finest Greek cultural artifacts. For someone in that circle, An astronomical computer would have been the ultimate proof of mastery over time itself. Further analysis showed the device was calibrated to start tracking time on 23 December 178 BCE, marking the winter solstice, a deliberate choice reflecting awareness of cosmic rhythms. But calibration is anti-construction. The mechanism may have been built earlier and set to begin calculations at the right moment, or crafted later using older record. Either way, the precision suggests planning and knowledge spanning generations. Coins and just from the wreck indicate the voyage occurred between 67 and 58 BCE at the height of Rome's conquest of the Greek world. The machine was en route from its origin to its new owners. The sea claimed it before it arrived. This raised an eerie thought. If this device survived only because of a shipwreck, others likely reached their destinations. Roman villas may once have housed similar machines, tucked away in libraries or displayed as trophies. That knowledge might have vanished when the empire fell. But what if those Roman archives hold evidence of something far more terrifying? The lost civilization theory. The Antikythera Mechanism doesn't just challenge what we know about ancient Greek technology. It upends the timeline of human progress. This device hints at something few dare consider. Advanced civilizations may have risen and vanished long before ours, leaving only fragments of their greatest works. Buried in its keys are implications hard to ignore. Creating a cyclic gearing with such accuracy should have been impossible before the Renaissance. The astronomical calculations rival those in TWNTUI computer programs. Yet someone in ancient Greece already possessed this knowledge, centuries before the world caught up. This wasn't a gradual climb. It was a leap that defies standard timelines. The Antikythera Mechanism isn't alone. History is littered with objects suggesting humanity touched this level of advancement before. The Baghdad battery hints at early knowledge of electricity in Mesopotamia. The Lycurgus cup changes color under light due to evaluation TUI nanostructures. Damascus city was fought with a formula lost for generations until modern metallurgy rediscovered it. These aren't random, they form a pattern suggesting a darker possibility. Human civilization may follow a cycle. We rise, build, then collapse, erasing what came before. Civilizations with deep knowledge of engineering, astronomy, and science may have existed, only to vanish after disaster or war. The Antikythera Mechanism could be proof of one such lost golden age. Around 1200 BCE, the Bronze Age collapsed, and entire societies vanished. The fire that consumed the library of Alexandria destroyed countless scrolls of knowledge we will never read. When Rome fell, the Western world plunged into centuries of stagnation. Each collapse erased generations of learning. The thought that links us with researchers is this: if mechanical computers like the Antikythera Mechanism existed, what lost was lost? What other inventions were destroyed, hidden, or forgotten? This device survived only because it sank to the ocean floor, shielded from time, looters, and smelters. Its existence proves ancient scientists understood the skies in ways still hard to fathom. They used mathematics to map planetary paths, predict eclipses, and mark celestial events with precision medieval astronomers could only dream of. This wasn't myth, it was hard science, and it vanished. The idea of progress as a straight line crumbles under this evidence. History may be a spiral. We rise to great heights, only to fall, losing everything, sometimes for centuries. The Antikythera Mechanism might be a relic from one of those peaks, a time when science, maths, and engineering reached levels that seem futuristic even now. If true, we are not forging new paths, we are retracing forgotten ones. Our technology might merely echo inventions built long ago by civilizations wiped out by war, disaster, or neglect. Inside that corroded bioegg, the keys turned with knowledge so precise they could calculate planetary motions still debated today. They tracked cycles modern astronomers study with powerful telescopes. They reflected a mastery of space and time that was achieved, and then lost. What if this wasn't the work of one genius, but evidence of something far more terrifying. Ancient network. The truth emerges when examining the mechanism as bronze plates. These aren't just examples of Greek ingenuity. The astronomical knowledge embedded in the device connects to distant lands and ancient powers. Babylonian lunar cycles appear alongside Egyptian calendar system. The finely cut key reflect metalwork perfected in Syrian workshops. Every piece hints at a forgotten world where information flowed freely across sea routes binding civilizations. The Mediterranean wasn't just water, it was a superhighway of knowledge. Ships sailed from port to port, carrying modern goods. Alongside wine and marble, they transported scrolls, tools, astronomical tables, and mechanical designs. The ship that sank with the Antikythera Mechanism also carried Syrian clad marble from Asia Minor, and coins minted in Sicily. That connection wasn't random. It points to a sophisticated exchange system connecting cities and scholars in ways we still struggle to grasp. The calendar mechanism adds another layer to the mystery. It goes beyond tracking Greek festivals, with keys referencing Egyptian month, Babylonian eclipse calculations, and Syrian stargazing data. Someone had access to centuries of cross-cultural knowledge, gathering, comparing, and refining it into one unified machine. The craftsmanship tells a similar story. No single artisan could have created something this complex alone. The bronze was processed using methods refined in one region, while the parts were shaped and assembled elsewhere. The tiny key teeth required mathematical calculations pioneered in Babylon, combined with metallurgy likely learned in Egypt. This device demanded experts from different cultures working together. This wasn't a cooperation, it was a coordinated sharing, or perhaps stealing, of intellectual wealth on a grand scale. The inscriptions include man names used in Corinth, festival dates from Greek city-state, and technical terms from Nehemian record. These clues suggest someone gathered the ancient world as most advanced ideas and forged them into a device that could predict celestial events and regulate time. The Antikythera Mechanism is more than a scientific tool. It is evidence of a forgotten network, an invisible alliance of thinkers, traders, and builders exchanging ideas across borders and oceans. Their collaborations left few written records, but the device they created speaks of shared goals, large-scale planning, and technology that vanished for over 8,000 years. Yet such networks don't simply fade, they re-erase. The shipwreck may have been caused by a storm, but that doesn't explain everything. Someone had arranged for this priceless machine to be delivered. A recipient was waiting. Yet no similar devices have been found since. If this network could produce something as advanced as the Antikythera Mechanism, they likely created even more remarkable inventions. And it is just as likely that something or someone was powerful enough to wipe their work from history, leaving only scattered clues and one rusted survivor pulled from Delphi. The terrifying truth. For over a century, the corroded bronze fragments sat untouched in museum storage, hiding secrets that would unsettle even the most seasoned scientists. The rediscovery began with a nagging unease. Museum curators noticed the official inventory didn't add up. Record listed only 3 main pieces, but advanced imaging scans revealed at least 2 fragments. Someone, at some point, had concealed the device as full scale. The missing part included inscriptions that altered its meaning and purpose entirely. Modern tools revealed what humans had missed for decades. CT scans sliced through corrosion to expose hidden keys and systems no one believed the ancient world could build. Reflectance transformation imaging brought out faint Greek letters etched onto surfaces smaller than a fingernail. The precision was beyond anything historians expected from 2,000 years ago. Then artificial intelligence entered the fray. Machine learning software cross-referenced the mechanism as fragmented texts with tens of thousands of historical documents. What it found took researchers to their core. The device referenced celestial events and eclipse predictions only confirmed by modern astronomy in the 16th century. Its accuracy rivaled today's best computers. And that wasn't the worst of it. Buried in the bronze plates were microscopic symbols, barely visible without magnification. These weren't decorative, they were coordinates, pointing to other sites across the Mediterranean where similar devices might lie buried. The Antikythera Mechanism wasn't a one-off, it was part of a larger system, a hidden network of ancient machines, many still lying beneath rock and time. The implications froze the scientific world. If one device survived only by a shipwreck, others likely didn't or haven't been found. Archaeologists began scanning the AID and the FAFD coordinates with crowd-penetrating radar, uncovering patterns of buried metal beneath ancient ruins in multiple countries. One discovery stood out. Within the device's calendar system, AI decoded instructions going beyond tracking the moon. They revealed formulas to forecast human behavior, using celestial patterns to model and possibly influence societies. The creators weren't just studying the skies, they were shaping events on Earth based on what they saw above. Excavations in Syria, Egypt, and Sicily have unearthed pieces of similar devices, each more advanced than the last. The picture emerging here isn't of a single invention, but of a large civilization with a deep grasp of science, astronomy, metallurgy, and perhaps social engineering.